tone and tenor of the text. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. John 3:16. And we're going to recite this verse the way we learned it in Sunday school and vacation Bibles. We're not going to use this New American Standard or English Standard Version. But on the count of three, we're going to say it all together. 1, 2, 3. For God loved the world that he gave. To have everlasting life. You may be seated. For the next 12 to 13 minutes, I want to talk from this thought, the perfect gift. The perfect gift. Deacon McMath, several years ago, I was reading U.S. Today Review, which is the online version of the USA Today newspaper. They had an article entitled, 10 Things You Should Stop Buying People. They're taking the time to go through and do testing products for people like you and me so that we can make the best educated purchase that we could during this time of year. Instead of them coming up with the top 10 things you should buy, they came out with a list of the top 10 things people should stop buying. Can I give you a couple of those? They said, number one, stop buying stuff that says, as seen on TV. They said, don't buy people that. Those types of gifts, like those onesies or snuggle me things, look good on TV. But once you purchase it, it's not what you thought it should be. They said you shouldn't buy people those kinds of gifts. They said you ought not re-gift. That's the type of gift that you received, but you didn't like it. And so you found a gift bag and put it in the bag and you took it to the work or the church Christmas party. It said, don't give people gifts that you don't like. The review said, very expensive gifts, just for the sake of being expensive. It has a big price tag on it. They're really saying that it's the thought that counts. It's not so much about the price tag, but it's the consideration that a person has placed in purchasing the gift. It can be expensive, but if it's not you, it's just not you. They said the handbags or clothes that you purchase that you think someone would look good in. Maybe it's something really that you wanted and think they should have, but may not be something they really wanted. They said, brothers, pretty much don't go buy the Coach purse once you really wanted the Brahmin purse. Jewelry, they say everybody don't like jewelry. It's a funny, and then they said don't buy those funny gifts. Those gifts that you think are funny to you, but may not be funny to someone else. I didn't realize this until several years ago of getting married, that gifts are important to people. I'm more of a give you a cash or gift card kind of person. And then you tell me what I bought you. But I've learned, brothers and sisters, that gifts to some people are a big deal. People are working hard to get gifts together. People have missed church today to go shopping to get last minute shopping done. Some of you are planning today to leave church today and head to the exchange. My prayers are with you. To get last minute gifts. Someone is holding their breath in great anticipation, hoping that they even get a gift that they desperately want. Children desire gifts because gifts are a big deal. But on the other side, it can be also the sense of sadness and melancholy and anxiety, because maybe someone you wanted to give a gift to is no longer here to receive your gifts. That's where I am, if I'm honest and transparent. My late grandmother, her birthday is December 31st, and every year around Thanksgiving, we would have that conversation. What do you want for your birthday and for Christmas? And she would tell me what she wanted, and I knew it was really more cash. I would put that card in the mail, and she would call me with excitement to tell me thank you, because all she was probably going to do was go to the grocery store with her best friend and buy more groceries that she didn't need. Maybe your reality is that you've gone through some traumatic things this year. That on the flip side, that you simply don't have the resources that you once had to exchange a gift. Gifts are a big deal. Beloved, parents have worked overtime. Amazon, UPS, the Postal Service, and FedEx are out right now delivering things. And there are people expecting to get them. Gifts are a big deal. But this is the reality. Everyone wants to get a gift. But this is the word I have for us today. There's a gift that every one of us in this room and in the virtual space are in dire need of. There's one gift that everyone needs, and I want to call it a perfect gift. It doesn't matter if you're old, don't matter if you're young, don't matter if you're short, don't matter if you're tall, don't matter if you're black, don't matter if you're white. There's a gift that everyone needs and every one of us can experience. It does not matter what side of town that you're from or grew up on. There's a gift that everyone needs to experience. What store do you get it from, Pastor? I'm glad you asked heaven. Who's the gift brought by? I'm glad you asked God himself. Who's the customer service representative, the angelic hosts, and the shepherds who abide in the field? Who is the carrier? This fella by the name of John, the beloved disciple. When he wrote these words, for God so loved the world, that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. All I want to talk about this morning is the perfect gifts. Give me about 8 more minutes and I'm in my seat. This perfect gift, Deacon Stephanie, is a divine gift. That's what I like about God. That God, your God, my God, our God, is a divine gift giver. That God never forgets in this season. There's nothing worse than being forgotten about. I mean, you showing up to work early, you stayed late, you worked overtime, and somehow at the Christmas company party, they forgot all about you. There's nothing worse than being forgotten or overlooked, but the good news about God is that our God is not nonchalant. Our God is not forgetful. Our God is not lackadaisical. God is divine. Come a little closer. You have some people who love you, but they've forgotten about you. And God says, I've not forgotten about you. I always knows what's best for you. Listen, you got some good gifts that's been thoughtful. You've received some gifts over the years that's been sentimental. They've been expensive, but this is the caveat between God's gift and others' gifts. The gifts that God gives are always perfect. Talk, Saul. I'm doing the best I can. Lean in this way. God gives us perfect love. That's a love that doesn't have any pretense, that does not have any hidden motivations or agenda. There are some people that only love us when they can manipulate the dynamics of our relationships. God not only gives us perfect love, church, but God gives us perfect forgiveness. Sometimes we forgive, but we have the tendency to pull up the skeletons out of the closet and sometimes dig up bodies out of the grave. God says, I gave the perfect gift of forgiveness. He says, I forgave you. I wiped your slate clean. I gave you a tabula rasa. He says, I wiped it and forgave you and forgot all about it. Can I tell you, there's some of us that's still holding on to stuff that God has already forgiven you for. And God says the perfect gift for you is learn to forgive somebody else. Some of us will have gatherings and you will sit across a family member and won't even speak to them. You better learn how to forgive, because tomorrow is not promised. He says, not only do I give you perfect love, not only do I give you perfect forgiveness, but I also gave you perfect peace. That even when the world is going crazy all around us, even when this very week, we got a snapshot of what the next 4 years could look like politically. I mean, they had a deal in place. And COVID-45 the soon-to-be number 47th president. And his sidekick, Musk, blew up the deal where potentially people would not have gotten paid during the holidays. But God says, listen, it don't matter who's in the White House. Don't matter who's in the Senate. Doesn't matter who's in the House of Representatives. He says, I'm a God that sits high and look down low. And because I'm the God that rules and super rules, I'll give you peace in the midst of crazy context. Is there anybody in here today? I just need 2 and I'll make 3 that can say, I've had some stuff that only God can give me peace through. Can I tell you, you'll experience a lot of gifts. But there'll come a time in your life when you need a perfect gift. This perfect gift has no manufactured flaws, no messy people personalities. You want a perfect gift, it's a divine gift. But can I give you another thing? It's not only is it a perfect gift, this perfect gift is a divine gift, but Sister Dot, this perfect gift is an unlimited gift. Listen to the tone and tenor of the text. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. Now, in this life that we live in, there's classism. We live in different classes of people. Some people don't experience the same as other people. There's sexism. There's sometimes where women are treated differently than men. They even paid differently than men in some places, which is just wrong. Sometimes we're judged by our color of our skin. There's racism. We're judged by the color of our skin instead of the content of our character. But then there's also economic disparities. We see it every day where they will build certain things in our communities that they wouldn't build in their communities. There are the realities of life, that some of the realities of life, it reminds you there are some things that we just won't experience. There's some things I've realized I may never get. I may never ever drive a Bentley unless God let me hit the cash 3. Don't look at me like that. I'll never get that unless one of my nieces or nephews become rich. I've settled that there are some things you may not. I never own a private island with butler service. Probably never have a mansion in a gated community. There are a lot of things I probably won't ever have because there's different classes, and that doesn't make the other people better or worse. That's just the reality of life. We live in such a capitalistic society. That's just how things shake out sometimes. But there's something that all of us can have, and that's a relationship with the Son. That's all I came to tell you. That if you have a relationship with the Son, you will have everything that you need. The story is told about a wealthy man who dies. And they were having this huge estate auction because he had no one to leave it to. So people came from near and far. They came admiring the china dishes, the gold, the silver, all the priceless painting, all the land that he had, the houses that he owned, the cars, the boats, the jewelry, the golf clubs, everything you could imagine. The people came because they knew he was wealthy and he didn't have anyone to leave it to. So the auctioneer, knowing that the crowd has gotten very large, and he begins the auction. He says, I know we got a busy day today. He said, but before we can do anything, there's a painting that has to be sold first. This painting was a painting picture of a little boy in the picture, and everyone was like, well, let's get to the stuff. He said, I can't move forward until this painting is sold. Someone jumped up and said, well, I'll buy it for $5 so we can get to the big stuff. The man said, going once, $5. Going twice, $5. Going sold, $5. They give the man the painting. The auctioneer begins to take down his stuff and close out business for the day. People start getting disgruntled. Where are you going, Mr. Auctioneer? We came to get this land and this other stuff. We came to bid on all this other stuff. The auctioneer said, well, according to the will. The owner said that whoever bought the picture of the sun could get everything else. And all I came to tell somebody today is that the gift we have is that when you gain the Son, everything else you need comes along with it. And can I find a witness in here today that can say, well, when I came to Jesus, just as I was, weary, wounded, and sad, I've had some bad days, but he gave me peace. I've had some storm, and he stepped right in. Anybody been sick, but he healed your body? Anybody been down and he picked you up? High five a neighbor and say, thank God for the Son. Tell somebody when you got Jesus, you got the right one, baby. Can I say this before I move to my last point? The Lord told me to tell you this: take limits off God. Stop limiting what you think God can do. That's why the word says he can do exceedingly and abundantly above all we can ever ask or think. Let me push to the close. This perfect gift is a divine gift. This perfect gift is an unlimited gift. But can I tell you lastly, this perfect gift is an everlasting gift. Life gives us all types of gifts. Life is a mixed bag of good and bad. Some days we have successful days. Some we have happy days, but we have sad days. But on the other side of life, there are the challenges, the tragedies, the trials, and the triumphs. Life is a mixture, beloved. Sometimes life don't feel good because sometimes life just be lifing. You don't want to eat salt by itself because it's too salty. You don't want to eat eggs by themselves raw because they're too raw. Nobody wants vanilla extract by itself. It's too potent. No one eats baking soda by itself. It's too rich. But listen, when you put the eggs, the flour, the vanilla extract, the baking soda, and mix it all together, pour it in a pan, set the oven on 350. After an hour and a half, everybody likes a slice of pound cake. All I come to tell you is that life has a way of the good and the bad works together for the good of those called according to his purpose in Jesus Christ. But life is a mixture, but you need some of all of that. I've discovered, as I reflect on the holiday season, that sometimes you have to learn to adjust life even without loved ones who were once here. I've noticed I've developed a problem with Christmas. I got a problem with Christmas. I know y'all don't want to hear that. I don't want to ruin your Christmas. Sunday before Christmas, but Reverend has a big problem with Christmas. This is my problem with Christmas. I've come to discover that the older I've gotten, the gifts don't last. I thought about this thing. The Tonka trucks I got as a boy playing in the yard, pretending to be a contractor, those toys rusted out. Just think about it. You've received some gifts over the course of your life. They either got old or they broke or they got lost in seasonal transitions. Some of the most important pieces of clothing that you just absolutely love, you messed around and washed the wrong way and they shrunk. You didn't gain weight, they just shrunk. No matter the toys or the games you got, your children, over time, they don't play with it anymore. Somehow, it mysteriously becomes broken or misplaced. But the gift of Jesus never breaks. Listen, some stuff you buy have 60 and 90 days warranty. You buy cars, you may have 100,000-mile warranty, but the good news is, lean in, God put a warranty on his son. They said, if you have my son, you can have everlasting life. And everybody ought to want a gift that lasts. And that's good news today, Greater Thankful, that some people, you put your hopes in your bank account, you put your hopes in how smart you are, you put your hopes on your resume. I like what the hymn writer says, Deacon Ragland. Some folk would rather have houses and land. Some folk choose silver and gold. These things I treasure, and they forget about their souls. But I decided to make Jesus my choice. The road is rough. The going gets tough. The hills are hard to climb. I started out a long time ago. There is no doubt in my mind. I decided to make Jesus my choice. And if you thank God today for the greatest gift, give God a hand clap of praise. The door of the church is open.